what I've got here is I've got a fermentation bucket. I normally would make 5 gallons, but on this occasion I'm only going to make 2 gallons. So what I've got in here is 2 demijohns soaking in a mixture that contains this magic ingredient. This is VWP dual purpose cleaner sterilizer. As regards cleaning the equipment to make wine, this is God's hammer. This is the stuff you need. You can use it straight away, 10 minutes, everything's sterilised. I like to sterilise inside and out. That's why I put my demijohns in the bucket, filled with steriliser, and they'll soak. But the advantage of this is any muck that's stuck to the side, inside or outside of the demijohn, will be released. So then everything sparkles after you use this stuff. This VWP does make glass quite slippery, so that is one of the cautions I would give you. What I'm going to try and do here is I've got this yeast for elderflower wine. I've had it for quite a few years. Now in here I've got some water with a teaspoon of sugar. Just give it a stir. Now I'm gonna see what this yeast is like. It's got yeast and nutrient, so with the sugar it should be alright. It smells alright. I'll give that a stir. We only need a small amount of this yeast to be still active. So I'll put that back there. Yeah, like I say, we only need a small part of this yeast to be still active. And then this will go in with the elderflowers. This is our starter, our yeast. I don't know whether you can see that, but we've got bubbles coming from the sediment at the bottom. So some of it is live. Now the reason I say some of it is because what I need to do now is get the elderflower out of the freezer and prepare it. So I've got frozen elderflower. I'm just going to cut these florets off. That's basically what I end up with, florets. And all the creepy crawlies have been killed by freezing. Maybe all the creepy crawlies will be down at the bottom of the bucket. Some of these florets have only got buds on, or a few buds. That doesn't matter. Yeah, it doesn't matter if there's buds, because the freezing process, what it does is it destroys the cell walls. So what you're getting is the flavours in the buds, etc., that can be released. A bit of a laborious process, but I'll get there. It's made the stems quite brittle, so they're coming off quite nicely. Trying not to get too much of the green. It's like I said on the walk, it can add a bitterness when we don't want too much of that bitterness coming through. So it's filling up quite nicely. This is what I'm using, and the best before date is October 2020, so it's a little bit out of date, but with yeast you only need a small amount to still survive, because if it's got something to feast on, and in this case it's a bit of sugar and the yeast nutrient that was in the sachet, there's enough there to keep it going. So that'll go in to the bucket. Now what we're basically going to do is we're going to put the elderflowers into this to essentially make a tea bag. But because there's so much, in fact I'll show you how much there is. Cleaned them all off, and that's what we've got. Approximately 2 pints. So that'll make 2 gallons, like 12 bottles. So I'll just keep that stored in the freezer for now. So, because there's so much, I'm going to use 3 tea bags. So, got this muslin, and what I need to do is just put the drawstring in the end. I've already sewn that end together, so that's done. But to make it completely bag-like, I'm going to use this thread and put a drawer in the top. So just turn it over. And just thread it through. So there we are. So we got this one to there. Pull that through. And, tie a knot in there. Just trim the end So we've got 3 bags now. The next stage is putting the ingredients together. What I've decided to do is make 3 gallons because I've got just short of 3 pints of elderflowers. So I've got a strong cup of tea, 3 tea bags, that's for the tannin, and then I've got this grape juice concentrate which is going to go in there as well. Just add a little bit of body, doesn't seem much, that's all you need. The next thing I need is lemon juice and lemon rind. So got these lemons, which should be enough. Don't want the pith. So now the lemon juice into my bucket. Don't really want pips. They're a bit dry. No wonder they were reduced. I know what I was doing wrong. I'll do it on the next one. That's better. This is what you do. So I've been told. You just squeeze the fruit to break the cell walls. Right, that's our lemons. So, lemon tea with grape concentrate. Let's see how the yeast is doing. Yeah, it's bubbling away nicely there. And now we're going to make the tea bags up. Elderflower bags. So, lemon peel, I'll just put into one bag. So, just goes into here. May even make it to 4 gallons. 1. 2. 3. 'It's not whatnot. One last thing to add to this liquor is some yeast nutrient. So about 1.5 teaspoons. That, not too much. Right, so this next bit, this has got my sterilising solution in, so I need to pop this in here to sterilise it. It's got the demijohns in there. But I won't be using these just yet. So I'll put a cork in, keep it clean. Good drain cleaner this as well. So our lid has got a hole there. So I've got this grommet which is going to go in that hole. It should be clean, but I'll give it an extra sterilise on there, like that. I can tip this out of here because it served its purpose. Just save a bit for the bubbler. So I'm going to be making 15 litres of wine up to that mark. Put my tea mixture in there. So the next thing I'll be doing is bringing through sugar and water mixed through, a bit of boiling water. So what I've got here is a bucket with one of the bags of the elderflower in and boiling water and some of the sugar. So this needs to go in here, the whole lot. I'll keep doing this until we get up to the 15 litre mark. So where are we now? Just over 5. What we've got here is the brew bucket with 15 litres of sugar liquid, boiled water, so it's steeping. What I'm going to do is leave that overnight, and then tomorrow I can add the yeast, give the yeast a chance to really get going, and then leave it for a week, and then I can put it into demijohns. Give that a good whisk around, a good stir every day. I'm going to take a hydrometer reading for the must, and we'll see eventually what percentage alcohol we've got at the end. So that's what it looks like in the brew bin. The yeast is doing its work. So every day it needs a bit of a swill round. So the hydrometer's been sterilised. Put that in the water. Now I'll put my must into here, and then I'll take my reading. Current reading is just slightly over 1100, which is perfect. That's a good start. The yeast is healthy, it's bubbling away, so in a few days time I'll put that must into demijohns.